Yeah, I think too with Harris, it was overconfidence on their campaign. They thought, well, it put another female um, candidate up there, and it would solve all the ills, and not the case. Um, and I think too they underestimated Trump. I think, and that's what did the Harris campaign in. I think too, um, voters were tired of the immigration issue and the economy issue. Yeah, the stock market's doing very well. Inflation's under control. Price of gas has come down. I was in Pennsylvania canvassing, and the price of gas was under $3, believe it or not. Um, but it, it just, I feel like two things were not addressed on the Harris campaign. At first, she focused on it, but as soon as he got his mojo back, he played the Harris campaign like a harp, and he figured it was all in, like in poker terms, all in. And yeah, I think he even called their bluff. And sure enough, by not debating her, and I was wrong on this, by not debating her, he was smart by not doing that. And he went on podcast, so he kind of broke traditional norms, thought outside the box, campaigned in traditionally blue states like California, and even went back to New York City to hold the rally there at Madison Square Garden. So, um, yeah, yeah. I mean, he definitely wanted this presidency in the worst way, and I'm not saying Harris did not. I commend her. She really put a lot of effort, and she put her heart into it. And I'm glad I came out to canvass, phone bank for her, um, donate. Um, yeah, I mean, I did my part. I voted early, so yeah. So I feel like I could complain. I could do one of two things. I could complain, protest in the streets, have a meltdown, or I can be mature about it. What I'm doing now, I'm reflecting on things, and I'm thinking of maybe in the future. Now that I've done canvas for Harris, and I'm very proud of it. I really think by reaching out and talking to voters, either Trump voters or Harris voters, when I canvassed the people at the canvas site were instructing us not to engage with Trump supporters. But I think, on a side note, that's a big mistake. As long as it's very civil, Trump supporters are beings too. And people watching this video can disagree with me. But like I said, I'm a moderate, I'm an independent, I'm not Democrat, and I used to be Republican. So yeah, when I got out there to canvass and talk to Trump supporters and Harris supporters, um, I think on a side note, when we were told not to engage with Trump supporters, I feel like as long as you're civil about the issues and you're not calling people names and they want to talk to you about their concerns, they just want to be heard. That's it. So I had like no problem when I encountered a Trump supporter and we were just, are you voting? Are you not voting? I was happy to talk to the Trump side. I was happy to talk to the undecideds because that's what determined the election. And I think, in my opinion, the undecideds wanted to be heard. They have legitimate concerns. They have legitimate concerns about immigration. They have legitimate concerns and questions that need to be answered about the economy. And people were not feeling it. And I think in my opinion, the Harris side kind of took that for granted. And I'm not badmouthing. Like I said, I'm very happy to help them out. I thought, like a lot of people on the Harris side, after previous 4 years of Trump, that there was a good chance she was going to get it, especially Pennsylvania. But as the night progressed and the results came in, it was very evident. And once it got to like the 93% mark for Pennsylvania, all precincts, and then the 99%, and once Pennsylvania was called for Trump, that was it. Game over for Harris. And yeah, I have to admit, I'm like, no. But after about 5 minutes, I took a step back in my living room. And yeah, I after a couple hours, I went home and I spent the rest of the election night into the early morning, 6 o'clock, 7. And yeah, I was just so glued to this election. And I just wanted to hear the opinions from the analysts and things like that. It's very interesting. So, with that being said, now that this election is over with, and we truly made history in this country because Trump is first presidential candidate to run 3 times. Well, I don't know, maybe Franklin FDR was 4, so he holds the record for the amount of times he ran. But Trump he made history as being the first guy to be convicted, a convict with felony counts, twice impeached. Trying to think what else. Oh, and he'll be the oldest guy that'll be sworn in. He'll be older than Biden, in fact. He'll be 78 and a half years old. So he'll be around the same age as Biden was when he's about halfway through his first year in office. So with that being said, I want to elaborate a little bit on my feelings. I want to say, even though I'm not a fan of Trump, congratulations to Trump. I feel like it was a fair election. Nothing was stolen. So I want to elaborate on a few things. So with the election over with, I feel like now it's time to hold his feet to the coals and to try to keep his promises. He's got no more excuses now, so I'm hoping he'll do the right things this time around. I'm not going to go, like I said, I'm not going to go out and protest. I'm not going to do crazy things in the streets. I'm a very peaceful, decent human being. And like I said, I think it was a fair election. At least we have 2.5 months left of Biden, and maybe a lot of good will come out of this, So can only keep our fingers crossed, So it's going to be a very fascinating, it's going to be a very interesting 4 years. And then if you include the election results and then inauguration, it'll be 50 and a half months. It's going to be a long 50 and a half months. And yeah, Trump's going to be Trump, and he's going to try to this whole thing with Project 2025. It's concerning. So we'll have to see how much he really adopts and implements. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of theories out there about what he'll do, what he can do, what he can't do. In terms of the conviction that he got, it'll be a slap on the wrist. He's not going to see a day in jail.